They are both powerful and unyielding. The very essence of life. One constantly changes with relentless desire for more. The other remains still, cold, and deliberate. Alone they can be controlled, manipulated. But under the right conditions, they are unstoppable. NC State's Rodney Monroe and Corchiani will forever be known as Fire and Ice.
You know, they called them Fire and Ice because they were supposed to be so opposite.
It was really a good definition for both of us.
One had the very fiery personality, obviously, and Rodney was ice cold.
The nickname Fire, and he wasn't going to back down. Personalities were completely different, but they gelled and they blended together.
Deep down inside, we both wanted to win. We both were competitors. It's just the perception people saw was two very different things.
With their names forever etched in the history books, the two will be linked forever. Their legacy stands tall as one of the greatest backcourts to ever play the game.
The first thing that I did with all my people was I asked everybody, who was the best backcourt in ACC history? It became unanimous that you two were the best backcourt to ever play. What does that mean to you that's what people think of you?
You know, it was special having the opportunity to play with Rodney. It was a bond that, you know, was created, you know, from you know, our freshman year, and we just kind of grew together. But just being mentioned in the company of so many great players is really quite an honor.
They have to do a lot of thinking, but I don't know of any two guards that worked together and meant more to their team over the course of their career than Fire and Ice.
They weren't just trying to get assists. They weren't just trying to get the points. They were just trying to do what they did best to help NC State win, and they did a lot of it back then.
First one, we had to say the name, Fire and Ice. Okay, you're the fiery one, you're the cool one. You guys get here together, you're feeling as though it's a competition, and you guys kind of mix it up a little bit. You know, tell me a little bit about those early days when you get here on campus.
You know, we get here and we go play pickup in the Carmichael Gymnasium, and you know, Chris he's a cheater, man. He cheats. You know, we can stop right now. He's a cheater.
I told you we were gonna have a couple different versions of
it. You know, I think, you know, he might have missed a shot and didn't call foul, and I said no foul, and he said it was a foul, and I said no foul, and we just start throwing hands at each other, you know. So, but what it really was is, you know, neither one of us wanted to back down from one another.
There's a reason I wanted to go second. You know, I wanted to be able to hear what he had to say and have a rebuttal on that. I remember, you know, Rodney went for a shot and I stripped him down low. Nice clean strip. I was going down for a layup on the other end. Called foul. You know, so hey, we had a few words.
It's my turn. He's older than me too. He doesn't remember quite well. No. His memory's not as good.
You know, you'll have your time. So we end up having a few choice words, and one thing led to another, and we start, you know, getting at it for a little bit. The funny thing about it is, you know, I'll remember this. There's a lot of times when you get in a little fight on the court, and one of your teammates comes in, jumps in, and breaks it up. I mean, this was longer than, you know, just a boom. I was like, man, somebody gonna jump in and break this fight up?
Yeah, they threw a couple of punches at each other, so I stepped in the middle of them and I broke it up. And as I broke it up, one of them hit me in the mouth. So then they stopped fighting, because after I'm spitting blood, I'm ready to fight both of them then. So I guess they may have come in not respecting one another in the beginning, but you know, that fight and both of them not willing to back down, they knew you know, that may have got them to have more respect for one another.
Now, you guys have gotten the fighting past you, you know, and now both of you guys are starting in your sophomore year, and this is when truly Fire and Ice was formed.
Coach V gave us, you know, the ball and the keys to everything out there, and you know, when he did that, we never looked back.
He wasn't always the tallest or the quickest, but he was, I mean, he was the most competitive.
As far as a scorer, I mean, there was no one better. And he had a mentality that I just loved, that I just fed off of. You know, he could miss a couple shots and never blink an eye. He wanted the next shot.
He'll take it and hit it.
I let him do his thing, he let me do our thing, and together we made a good thing.
And the numbers don't lie. Monroe broke David Thompson's scoring record with over 2,500 points, while Corchiani left NC State as the NCAA's all-time assist leader with over 1,000 assists.
Our senior year with Coach Robinson and Rodney breaking all-time scoring record and me surpassing the 1,000 assist mark, it was just kind of storybook our senior year. It was a lot of fun.
Let's just win, just keep winning the rest of these games. Every team that we play from here on out, we can win.
All right, let's go. Win on three. 1, 2, 3, win.
Of course, when you talk about competition, you're still competing. You're on the sidelines doing it now, coaching. I mean, do you feel as though that is really the way that you're carrying on what you've done throughout your basketball career?
I tell people every day that I have one of the best jobs in the world because I get to do two things every single day. That's be involved in basketball, trying to teach kids the fundamentals and get their skill set to be better basketball players. And number two, that's try to help them spiritually, try to give them Jesus Christ.
Chris has become the CEO of a mortgage company in Raleigh. He is also a big family man, and you can always catch him courtside at every one of his son's basketball games.
A lot easier being down there running around. You get knots in your stomach as a parent, but it's just a family affair.
So now, you know, you guys, of course, go along on your professional careers, and when you look back at this, can you imagine a life as fire with no ice and ice with no fire?
You know, we had a great ride. It was fun. I can't, you know, having gone through it once, I wouldn't want to experience anything any differently.
We'll be tied together for the rest of our lives, I think. There's no way around it, and it's a good thing.